Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Movie News. I hope you're all doing well. We got a lot to cover today. We got a lot of movie news that happened in the past, week, past couple days. We got Disney news, we got Marvel news, and all that good stuff. We got digital releases coming out. Before we get started, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 600 subscribers. It's free to do so, helps out a lot. But the first topic that we're going to talk about today is a new Evil Dead spin-off movie is in the works, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's name who's going to direct it because I don't want to butcher his name, but he works for the Sam Raimi company. And let me just say, I'm so hyped for this. Just give me all the Evil Dead movies. After Evil Dead Rise, I was like blown away because that was the first Evil Dead movie that I've actually ever seen. I've never seen the originals still. I mean, I own them. They're in my bookshelf back there. I own the movies, but I still haven't popped them on. There's so many movies on my watch list. So behind. So the only Evil Dead movies I've seen are Evil Dead Rise and Evil Dead 2013. And I think they're both great movies. They're both just, kind of shock, gory movies. I was just surprised by how great they were. And I'll take as much as they can give us. They're pretty cheap movies usually. I think they're made for like 30 million or less. And they usually make a decent amount. I think Evil Dead Rise made like 3 times its budget. So I think this will be a great investment. I think this is Warner Bros. That owns Evil Dead. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, give me all the Evil Dead movies. And then we have a Moana sequel has officially been announced. Moana 2 is coming to theaters November 2024. So just this year. I was surprised as many of you are probably because I just learned that this was supposed to be a Disney Plus show. Then they're reworking it into a movie now. That gets me kind of worried because making a Disney Plus show into a movie, cutting that all together just seems a little bit difficult and a little bit, maybe it won't have the same budget and same feel as the first Moana, because I really like the first Moana. I think it's one of their best ones recently, because Disney's been a little off lately, and I really like all the characters, like all the songs. I think Dwayne Johnson does great in this movie. So yeah, I'm excited to watch it, but I'm still a little bit worried about them reworking a TV show Moana for this, and supposedly we're getting a Moana live action as well as a Moana 2. There might be a little bit too much Moana for me to handle. But yeah, I'll be there day one. I'm hoping, Disney gets back on their feet, but we'll have to see with this one. We have official confirmation. Percy Jackson and the Olympians has been renewed for season 2. We all knew that this was going to happen. We were just wondering, when are they going to announce it? Because the numbers were actually pretty good for this show. I think Disney is very happy with the numbers. I didn't do a review on this one because I just didn't, have the time for it. But the show as a whole, I thought it was just all right. I think they really dumbed it down for, all the children and all that. It does premiere on Disney Plus, but I've read the books. I think the books have a lot of adult moments, especially the first one. So, I think they skipped a lot of great beats in the first book. I think the scripts were a little off for the first season. So hopefully they do fix that in the second season, get the ball rolling a little bit more. A lot of the scripts seem to be a little flat because Percy Jackson's supposed to be a very charismatic, and he's supposed to be very funny and all that, but the scripts just made him feel like he's just a dumbed down character. So I'm hoping that all works out. I'm hoping that season 2, gets started very fast because they're losing a lot of time with these actors. All right, now we got a lot of Disney and Star Wars movies to talk about. First up, let's talk about the Disney and Pixar sequels. They got kind of dated. They don't have official dates, but they do have the years that they're coming out. This year we got Inside Out 2, Moana 2, like we did discuss. Next year, only one so far, which is Zootopia 2. I'm very excited for Zootopia 2. That's one of my favorites. And that's probably better than Moana 2 for me. I think that's one of my favorites in like the past. I don't know when Zootopia 1 came out, but it's probably my favorite since Zootopia 1 came out. And then 2026, we have Frozen 3 and Toy Story 5. They're probably the biggest sequels that everyone is waiting for. I don't care too much about Frozen 3 because I thought Frozen 2 was a really big letdown, a really big disappointment. Toy Story 5, though, sign me up. I know a lot of people are complaining. Why do we need it? We don't need it, but at the same time, did we need Toy Story 4? No, but I thought that was amazing. Big epilogue for Woody and his character. I really did love it. It's such a sad ending for that movie, but Toy Story 5 coming back, all these great characters. I love all the new characters they introduced in the fourth one. So they're kicking it off, bringing all the sequels back. And I will say, people are complaining about, Disney and Pixar just doing sequels, but no one's going out and seeing the original movies. Sure, I will cut them some slack on, Strange World. That was original and it wasn't great, so I will say, that one makes sense. But Elemental should have made a lot more money. I mean, it did make a decent amount of money, but it was an original film. It didn't make as much as it deserved, and it was great. They still make original great films, but no one goes to see them. Everyone just wants to go see the sequels because it's just a safe bet for people to go to the theaters. They know it's going to be good because the other ones were good, so that's why they're basically doing it. I can understand. Sometimes we're going to get sequels, sometimes we're going to get originals, and we're just getting a lot of sequels right now, so we're just going to have to deal with it. Then The Mandalorian and Grogu, which we have talked about. So we have talked about before. It's going to release in 2026. Don't know when, but it's a couple years away. I don't know if they're going to do a season 4 of Mandalorian still and this. Hoping we just stick with the movie because that's all really I need. Then we have a new Game of Thrones spin-off. Aegon's Conquest is in the works from the writer of the Batman, Mattson Tomlin, and the series will follow the Targaryens' bloody and brutal conquest of Westeros. I don't even ask me anything about this series. I only know about Aegon's Conquest because of people talking and breaking down House of the Dragon. I loved House of the Dragon. I don't know what happens after it because I haven't seen Game of Thrones still. I'm still not, in that era of watching Game of Thrones yet. I'm gonna watch it someday, probably this year, but I really need to get on it because I loved House of the Dragon. Aegon's Conquest is probably going to be very good. They're probably going to connect everything, make a whole, line of just series. I can't wait. But as I said, I have no knowledge of Aegon's Conquest. I've only seen House of the Dragon, and I loved it so far. Prey 2 is officially in the works. I'm not sure if the same director's coming back, same cast is coming back. We don't have a lot of news on this one. It's being kept under the wraps. But yeah, I'm very excited for Prey 2. Prey 1, or just Prey, I guess you could call it. It was great. It was great. It sucks that we only got to see it on Hulu. Hopefully Prey 2 does go to theaters, but we are getting a Prey 2, so that's very exciting. That means Prey did it very great on streaming. The Bear Season 3 premieres in June, and I have heard that all the episodes are going to premiere at once, just like for Season 2 and Season 1. But yeah, this show's great. Season 3 ended on such a, interesting moment, such, a heartbreaking moment, but I'm very excited. I think the production, the editing, and the pacing of The Bear and the writing is some of the best. And, it won a lot of awards for best comedy, I would say. Some people don't think it's comedy, but I think it's very funny. So I put it in the comedy genre more than I put it in the comedy category more than the drama category. I think that makes just a little bit of sense. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. Then we have The Conjuring 4 will be the final film in the main franchise, and Michael Chavez is in talks to direct. I'm very excited for The Conjuring 4 only because that Nun, the Nun 2 kind of post-credit scene. The Nun 2 was just an alright film. The post-credit scene actually kind of, it's actually, I think if I remember correctly, it's going to tie into The Conjuring 4 in some type of way. They're going to fight the Nun again. So I'm very excited. We all love the Conjuring movies. The Conjuring movies are, the main Conjuring movies are all the best in this universe. All the other ones we can just flush those down the drain. We don't really need those movies. So yeah, you can sign me up for a Conjuring 4. The Conjuring 3 was actually pretty decent for a horror film. It's nothing like the first Conjuring. I think that's one of the best horror films I've ever seen. But yeah, I'll still watch a Conjuring 4. The main cast just carries the film on their back. Tom Cruise is circling to star in Quentin Tarantino's final film, The Movie Critic. So as we know, The Movie Critic is being, kept under wraps a lot. We don't know too much information. We just know that it's called The Movie Critic. We know of a couple of other cast members. We know that Brad Pitt might star in it, and Tom Cruise might star in this. Heard that he's, trying to clear up his schedule just a little bit for a small role. And if we get him in a small role, that's enough for me. That's really all I need from him, because Tom Cruise in anything can be pretty electric. We already know that from movies like Tropic Thunder, just having him in a small role. Hopefully it's a comedic role for him, because he was great in Tropic Thunder in a comedic role. So we'll see. That movie does start filming pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see if he does show up in it. Abbott Elementary has been renewed for season 4 at ABC. It already started its season 3 premiere, which I thought was hilarious. Abbott Elementary is probably the best show on regular television so far, and the best sitcom we've had probably since The Office, I would say, or Parks and Rec, but it depends when those premiered. But Abbott Elementary, if you haven't checked it out so far, it's really great. The writing on here is great. It's one of those shorter shows. I wish it was longer, but we just had an hour premiere season 3, and I just ate all that up. It was terrific. Star Wars The Acolyte will release this summer on Disney Plus. The whole cast is right there. I don't know too much about this series, but I know it's probably going to be pretty dark for Star Wars, but releasing this summer, I cannot wait for this show. The Danny Phantom live action movie is reportedly moving forward at Paramount and they're currently looking for a director, and the movie will include time travel, You know, Danny Phantom is a one show that I watched when I was really young, so I don't really remember too much about it. I kind of remember the look and the feel of the show. It was something that I really liked, kind of like a sci-fi action fantasy adventure show. And Danny Phantom was such a cool character. I just loved his look, loved his powers and all that. But yeah, I haven't seen the show for like over 10 years, I think. I don't know how long it's been because I was such a little child when this show started, you know, and when I started watching it. But what I remember is that I really liked it a lot. But what I remember is that I don't know how it's going to work in live action. It's a lot of budget to use for live action because if you want to make it as cool as the animated show, you got to do a lot of work with it. It's kind of like, yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender, but not really in the same way. But it does include a lot of, it's going to include a lot of effects, VFX, and all that. So it's going to be hard to make it work. Who knows who they're going to cast as Danny Phantom? I heard the creator of Danny Phantom, I think it was the creator, said he wanted Tom Holland. I don't know. I think Tom Holland's a little old for the character, but it says it will include time travel, so maybe you'll see different variants, different forms of Danny Phantom. But we'll see. I am decently excited, but I'm a little worried about it being live action. Our two last bits of news today are our digital releases. You're going to get Poor Things being released on digital platforms February 27th, so about 2 weeks or so from when I'm uploading this video. So I'm very excited for this. Poor Things was my favorite film of 2023. We'll see if that lives up on a rewatch, because I'm definitely going to rewatch it when it comes on digital. Just be warned, it's R-rated, so don't watch it with anyone you're worried to watch it with, because there's nudity, a lot of sexual content, a lot of language and all that. But it is a very beautiful story, I would say. And then we have the Iron Claw releases on digital this Tuesday. So probably by the time I'm uploading this, the Iron Claw will be out on digital. I do recommend this one a lot. It's a very heartbreaking film, very hard film to watch at times because it deals with, death, suicide, and all that. But I feel like the direction in here, the performances, especially from Zac Efron, was just terrific. And I think the pacing is great. It could have been even longer, and I would have enjoyed it even more. But yeah, that's another film that made my top 5 of 2023. So 2 films hitting digital this month that I really recommend that you guys go check out. But that's all for the movie news today. Hope that you guys did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 600 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.